Well then, we get on to our movies.
Movies!
Like I was saying earlier, it's Oscar season now. The Oscar nominees were officially unveiled in the week. So I have my little Excel file here. Let me read out for you just the Best Picture nominees. Best Picture: Arrival, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, Hidden Figures, La La Land, Lion, Manchester by the Sea, and Moonlight. They're your 9 Best Picture nominees. Other movies that are nominated in the categories that I watch, just for people who don't know, by the way, this is a yearly thing for me. I think I've been doing it for the last 3 or 4 years. When the Oscar lists come out, I watch every single movie that's nominated in what I consider the top 9 categories. That's Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor and Supporting Actor, Actress, Supporting Actress, Original Screenplay, Adapted Screenplay, and Best Animated Movie. So like I say, they're the 9 Best Picture nominees. Other films that are nominated in the various other categories are Captain Fantastic, Nocturnal Animals, Elle, Loving, Jackie, Florence Foster Jenkins, The Lobster, 20th Century Women, Kubo and the Two Strings, Moana, My Life as a Zucchini, The Red Turtle, and Zootopia. So, in the last 2 days, at least since the weekend began, we watched 4 of these movies. Going in, we had only seen 4. So we had seen already Arrival. No, sorry, we'd only seen 3. We'd seen Arrival, Kubo and the Two Strings, and Moana. They were the only 3 movies that we had seen. Which I think is an all-time low for me going into the Oscar list.
Yeah.
So, let's talk through some of these movies that we watched. So the first one that we watched, which Barry, of course, spoke about last week, was La La Land, which is a bookie's favorite to win the Best Picture. Very, very divisive movie. A lot of people love La La Land, and a lot of people are not so keen on it. So Barry, last week, you're one of the ones who loved it.
Yeah.
You gave it a big old 10. Big old 10-ski.
Big old 10, baby.
You will be happy to hear that I'm very much in the same park as yourself.
That's good.
I really like La La Land. Wouldn't quite give it a 10. I would say. I definitely had a few problems with it. I thought Ryan Gosling is very bland in it. I thought Emma Stone was great. Emma Stone, perfectly cast. I thought she had energy. She had a spark to her. Gosling, who I normally like I really like Gosling in The Nice Guys, and I thought he was the best in The Big Short. He was just on autopilot. He was nearly falling asleep in this movie. Sometimes there'd be scenes happening, and I'd just be looking at his face for like any kind of expression, but he just seems to be constantly in kind of a daze. So I wasn't a huge fan of him, and I must say, for a musical, a lot of the songs weren't particularly memorable. I wasn't humming any of the songs after having seen La La Land, I'm afraid. Not that the songs are bad, but they're just not really... Like, for example, coming out of Moana, I was singing You're Welcome and How Far I'll Go, and songs like, and Shiny. Like, there were songs that stick in your head. La La Land really didn't have that. But I think the strength of La La Land is the story. I think it's a very interesting story. The characters are characters that you really care about. Obviously, without spoiling the ending or anything, the way it develops, I thought developed very nicely. Yeah, I mean, I thought La La Land could have very easily, maybe in a lesser writer or director, could have very easily just been a cliched, hey, go to Hollywood and make yourself a star story. So I was happy to see that it was a little bit more than that. So yeah, I very, very much like La La Land. Give it a good 9 out of 10. So not too far away from Barry's score from last week.
Still a good one.
Looks great looking movie, vibrant colors everywhere. Good, really great music. Even though, like I say, for a musical, it's not super memorable. But for a movie, you better music than you'll normally get elsewhere. Definitely would recommend it, and yeah, I'm very much in the camp of people who loved it. So very, very big fan of that. We then watched a movie called The Red Turtle, which is an animated movie made in collaboration with Studio Ghibli, although not officially a Studio Ghibli movie. It's made by, I believe, a Belgian or Dutch director. Can't remember his name. It's a story about a man who gets shipwrecked on a deserted island, and every time he tries to escape using a raft made of wood he's found on the island, his raft gets attacked and destroyed by a red turtle, and the story goes from there.
Okay.
So the Red Turtle has a really great first half. Second half kind of loses its way and becomes less interesting, but it looks great. And it's funny because we've played, for example, Virginia this year, Barry, and I'm playing Limbo now. The Lobster is also has no dialogue in it.
Doesn't it?
Oh, excuse me, the red turtle, not the Lobster. The Red Turtle.
Oh,
has,
I was like, I could have sworn I saw a trailer with dialogue in it for the Lobster.
No, the Red Turtle has no dialogue in it.
Okay.
So unfortunately, what that means is sometimes it does kind of feel a bit slow, where the movie's just kind of plodding along with no dialogue, and you're kind of wishing for something to happen. So yeah, this was the one of the animated Best Picture nominees. I don't think it's going to win. I don't think it's probably the weakest of the four that I've seen. I think Moana was better. Kubo's certainly better. I think Zootopia was better as well. I think I enjoyed Zootopia more. It's probably around the same level in terms of how good it is as Zootopia. It's about that good. So yeah, it's also not very accessible because it doesn't have any dialogue in it. So for people who do check it out, you might be a little bit bored. It's kind of a little bit boring, but it's fine.
Why is that turtle wrecking his boat? Go away, turtle! I can't understand your motivations.
Explain yourself through dance moves or something.
Interpretive dance, turtle.
So, spoiler: the next movie. Oh, I give the Red Turtle a 7 out of 10. By the way, next movie.
Chikara gimmick, interpretive dance turtle.
Next movie we watched was The Lobster. Have either of you seen The Lobster?
No, it looks weird.
It's very weird. It's very, very strange. The Lobster is a story about a near future, a dystopian near future. So it's set in the future, but not too far in the future, where single people are sent to this hotel, in inverted commas, where they have 45 days to find a mate, and if they don't, they're turned into an animal of their choice.
I reviewed this ages ago.
So you've seen The Lobster, Joe?
Yeah, I thought it was an old film.
No, The Lobster.
But,
The Lobster, I think officially was first released in 2015, but it's
right.
nominated. Must have been its American release. Fell into this window. What did you make of The Lobster, sir?
Yeah, it's alright.
I kind of feel the same. I thought the first half was really good, where they're in the hotel and he has his little gang. This star is Colin Farrell, by the way. Colin Farrell, John C. Reilly, Ben Whishaw, Rachel Weisz. It's very much a film of two halves. It's kind of similar to, without spoiling it, it's very similar to Room, in that Room is like a movie that is two very distinguishable halves of the movie, where you have the half where this happens and that where this happens. Lobster, I kind of felt the same way, where the first half I was really into, super weird. The characters have a completely deadpan way of speaking, where it's a little bit like Invention of Lying, where they just say what's on their mind in a real blunt, nearly offensive way. And then the second half, it kind of lost me. I wasn't a huge fan of the second half, but the first half, I think
that's kind of what put me off bothering to watch it, because it's like, so the reviews were super mixed. People either loved it or hated it. I know Jay on Red Letter Media seemed really unsure on it, and I was like, okay, well, he's usually fairly confident what he likes, and he can't even really render a verdict one way or the other. I don't know if I should bother. And I watched the trailer. I was just like, it just looks weird. They're talking weird. It's just like, I don't know if I would have the patience to sit down and try and watch this.
It's very, very weird.
And it's on Netflix, so I could just stick it on. But it's like,
I would say give it a watch. I would recommend it. It's not great, but it's quite good. And the first half, I think, is great. I think the first half is really good. It's just unfortunate that the kind of second half is not as interesting. Give that a 6 or 7 as well.
I think the problem is the tone of it. It doesn't really give itself a chance to go anywhere in the second half. It can't exactly raise the stakes or, get into a big action scene. It's pretty much consistent all the way through.
The lobsters fight.
Yeah. Lobster man.
Yeah. It's a shame because I think if the entire movie
It's a shameful thing.
was the first
Lobster movie.
Speaking of people who were actually animals in films, R.I.P. John Hurt.
Oh, the Elephant Man.
Yeah.
Still need to watch that.
And then the last...
the premise basically is that it's a dystopian future, and they're like, right, we take 6 single people, put them on an island, and if you don't get a job, we turn you into an animal of your choosing. But then once we turn you into an animal, we throw you back into society. That's the premise.
Then the last movie we watched was Florence Foster Jenkins. This is the unfortunate curse where fucking Meryl Streep gets nominated every year for a movie that gets no other nominations, but she always gets fucking nominated because she's Meryl Streep. So this was last year was Into the Woods, which was a musical starring James Corden that somehow Meryl Streep got Oscar nominated for. The year before was August Osage County, a po-faced shite film that, again, she was in and so got fucking Oscar nominated. So Florence Foster Jenkins is this one. You might have seen a trailer for it. It's the one where she plays a person who is an opera singer who actually can't sing. But the whole joke is that, that she's actually really bad. That's the entire movie is about that. So again, yeah, unfortunately, it's a bad movie that Meryl Streep is in, and so give her a fucking Oscar nomination again. How much you enjoy this movie will be entirely dependent on your tolerance for Meryl Streep going off key, because she does that for an hour in this movie, and it very quickly gets tiring. We understand that she can't sing, okay? They don't need to play full songs because ultimately, even in the context of the movie, listening to somebody sing off key for 5 minutes is not a pleasant experience. So
but what does it mean, Paul?
Well, actually, it's a biopic.
She actually sung that way, Paul, because she had cancer. All right, that's the point of the film.
Actually, she had syphilis.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's close enough.
Some might say it's the cancer of the nether regions.
No, Paul.
You're the one who brought it up, Barry.
That's true. Egg on my face.
So yeah, it's not a good movie. It's also very... It's written in a way that's a little bit arseholey. Like, when you watch like one of these quote-unquote like highbrow comedy films where everyone talks like, oh, the weather tends to be worse this time. Like they talk all cunty like that. It's that kind of movie. It is a period piece. It's set in the early 1900s. But yeah, it's just kind of shitty, and like Hugh Grant is in it, and he's all like, and then Meryl Streep's going, and, like, fuck you, Academy.
Is that how they communicate? Is this like the Turtle movie?
I think so. Pretty much. Oh, and also, just to put the little cherry on top, that bloke out of The Big Bang Theory is in it.
Parsons.
Not Sheldon. I never watched Big Bang Theory. Let me look up the guy's name. Hang on, Big Bang. Is the guy who has like a bowl cut? Does he have a bowl cut? Is there one with a bowl cut in Big Bang Theory?
Really? That guy?
Hang
Jesus.
On, hang on. Yeah, it's him. Yeah, he's in it. And he acts like he's in a sitcom, where he's constantly like looking around. He's real fidgety in it. So he actually, like, you're watching this like motion picture and you're going, he is acting exactly like he's in a sitcom. So yeah, I give that like a 3 out of 10. Avoid. They're all the movies we watch. So I really hope Meryl Streep doesn't win the Oscar this year. And I really hope that she never gets nominated again, because apparently she's had like 22 nominations now. And I'm kind of getting the feeling that it's a little bit more cynical than they're letting on, where they're like, we have to get Meryl Streep in because it's not an Oscars without a Meryl Streep nomination because she's Meryl Streep.
It's an Undertaker or WrestleMania.
It's exactly that. Yeah, it's exactly that. Imagine if Daniel Day-Lewis was in Transformers 6
WrestleMania,
and you get an Oscar nominee because he's Daniel Day-Lewis. It's exactly.
Well, that would probably be fair though, because he's Daniel Day-Lewis, and he's playing a fucking robot, Paul.
And he's playing a killer car.
A robot that turns into a coffee machine.
So what about you guys? What have you watched?
They should invite Brock Lesnar to the Oscars, because then he could end the streak.
Good, very good.
I watched a couple of them movies that they've got.
Tell me about it.
One of them's called Monster Money. You heard of this one?
No, Monster Money?
It kind of flew under the radar, even though it stars bona fide Hollywood royalty George Clooney and Julia Roberts.
Oh no, it's Money Monster.
What did I say?
Monster Money.
Does it matter?
I haven't heard of it anyway.
You've heard of it now?
No, I haven't. I hadn't heard of it.
Monster Money.
Mania Wrestle. What the fuck is that, mate?
Oh, George Clooney in My Money. No, I haven't heard of that. Oh, the other way around. Oh, yeah.
I had not heard of this movie. Tell me about it.
It's directed by Jodie Foster.
All right.
And it's supposed to be, I guess, a kind of satire drama about the financial crisis. Some guy takes George Clooney hostage live on his show, which is all about the stock market and financial markets, because this guy lost all his savings because of a bad tip, and then blah 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 blah. It's really middle of the road, kind of inoffensive. I think it wants to be kind of a commentary or a social commentary, but it doesn't really say anything. Characters are whatever. George Clooney, not really a great actor. It just meanders along and it ends, and I think they wanted it to have a message, but it didn't. So I would give that a big thumbs in the middle.
Right.
Don't check that one out. Speaking of monsters and money, as in monsters that were brought back to make money in a film called 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh.
Get it?
I do.
I get it.
Gets the
Talking about John Goodman.
Yeah. Must think. Ink Monsters. What? Anyway.
Is that what that film's about?
Monsters Inc. Ink Monsters.
Oh!
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Have you seen it, Barry?
No, and I really liked the first one, but I have not seen 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay, I won't spoil the ending then.
I should probably watch it soon, because I know Paul has an opinion on the ending, so I want to hear your take on it.
Paul, remind me, you said you just didn't like the ending. That was it. You liked it up until the ending.
I really, really enjoyed 10 Cloverfield Lane, except for its dreadful ending, yeah.
I feel the same. I liked the kind of intense, and the mystery angle to it, and good performances all around, especially John Goodman.
Yeah.
And then the ending, I didn't mind the kind of direction it went in, but then the way it handled that direction was...
It's completely out of tone with the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it was completely from a different movie.
It's literally the guy who was editing it accidentally copied a clip from the wrong movie to the end of it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I don't know why they did that. But anyway, yeah, I'd still give it a recommendation.
It's like I'll be very cryptic here, of course, but there's one bit where a character at the very end of the movie is standing on or beside a car, looking off into the distance as something is approaching. And for me, that should be the last shot of the movie. But instead, it continues for like 20 minutes with this wacky scene that I could not stand.
Yeah.
I know, it just feels like it couldn't help itself. It had to be a little bit more self-indulgent and just go on, do it.
Madness. Anyway, good movie. Thumbs up.
Oh,
Still
Goodman
watch
is fantastic in it. It's
Watch it and then marvel at the ending. How mad the ending is.
and then if you watch it a second time, you know where to turn it off,
Yeah.
and then pretend that that's the end, and then go on with your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all I watched this week.
Which do you think is the better movie, Joe? Cloverfield or 10 Cloverfield Lane?
I prefer 10 Cloverfield Lane ending aside.
Yeah.
Although I quite liked Cloverfield.
Yeah, I have a very soft spot for Cloverfield.
Yeah.
But I think 10 Cloverfield Lane is probably better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what
I think that ending would have to be pretty damn weak to make it a less good film than Cloverfield. Because Cloverfield's good, but like it's not. I don't hold Cloverfield as some kind of amazing scene. But I think it's this great film.
Well, neither is 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's not this like amazing movie. It's a very very good movie with a very poor ending. Well, though I think I've seen Cloverfield at least 10 times by now. It was one of my favorite movies, but upon rewatching it in the last year, it does kind of show its age and show its weaknesses as well. Whereas I think 10 Cloverfield Lane for 90% of it is a very tight, very well made movie. So there you go. So do you want to move on to our emails then?
Well, I watched an Academy Award nominated film this week.
Sorry, Barry. Tell us about it.
Suicide Squad.
Little film called Captain America: The Winter Soldier, baby.
Oh, why?
Which was nominated for like best digital effects or whatever, losing out to Interstellar. How about that? Yeah, it's great. Seen it already. Talked about it already. Just wanted to make mention of it. Still great.
Okay.
Still the best thing in the whole universe. Although I have not yet rewatched Civil War. So yeah, want to make mention of that. I haven't seen anything else. We can jump into